David, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I actually do have a couple of stories. Is that something you could put in?
Oh, absolutely. Take a seat. You kind of went quicker than I thought as well. So why not? I'm happy. I love the stories, and probably something I should have asked. Some
No,
stories
I
about
think you
them.
did. I think you did, but mine's just a bit all over the place at the moment.
That's all right. No. Well, do you want another tissue? Would you like a glass of water?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I just think maybe if we can, I've got a couple of poignant stories to just sort of like
Yeah.
outline the sort
Something like
of
that.
woman she was and just some
Yeah.
funny things that some of the family know and some of the family don't. Some of her friends may know. I don't know, but you know,
Yeah.
I think they'll appreciate it because I hold them fondly and close to my heart. You know, especially now that because Scruffy's going to be there in person.
Yeah.
But like, the first story kind of like I don't know. They can watch him while the story's told, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, they got Scruffy when they were still old, not as old as they ended up being. But Scruffy was only they got Scruffy. I think he was about 6 months or something. He's a pound dog.
Oh,
And
nice.
Retirees with a puppy, it's interesting. They got all the time in the world, but these dogs have so much energy. They left Scruffy at home for the first time, thinking, he's entertained. He's got his toys. We've got him in the kitty's cage, locked in sort of the sunroom where he couldn't get out and couldn't do too much damage. They didn't really know what he was like at that time. But they ducked out to Woolies to get some ingredients. I think she was going to cook some cookies or something. I don't even remember why, but I remember her telling me they got back and they just saw all these things, clothing, magazines, the remote, and Nana turned to Grandpa. It was like, we've been burgled. And Grandpa's like, what do you mean we've been burgled? And Grandpa picked up a bat and they went in thinking they'd been burgled. And there was Scruffy lying down in like a whole, I don't know what you'd call it, like a mire of clothing and various things torn to shreds. Honestly, it looked like World War Three had happened. Oh my god.
What a story. So
They actually took a picture. Maybe we can put that in the
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if you tell the story beforehand and then we do the photo montage
Well, that's
afterwards, it would be like it would link up nicely and it'd be like when you can see an image of the story, it sort of might be nice. It might be quite nice.
You could something like I would love to. You could mention that in the eulogy. Something like that, because a story can be used in a eulogy. So
You think so?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a personal. It's. I would love to to be able to encapsulate what you just said.
But you think only I could sort of tell it like that?
Yeah,
It's better coming from
so.
me?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm happy to write something for it, and definitely something I will. But
I'll put it in there and you can proofread it.
yeah,
Is that okay?
that's my job is to read things because it can get emotional up there as well. So definitely something I can read out and I'll write it as hopefully I've captured it correctly. But if not, put it in your eulogy if you wish. And it's a hilarious story. I'm sure everyone would be laughing. For those who can relate to it, or those remember how probably hysterical they would have been when they thought they were burgled, because that's quite a tough thing to handle as well. So I definitely will write something about that. I think it's a brilliant story. Is there any other stories? You mentioned another one?
Well, Nana and Pops, they used to live on the golf course just up where the river comes along.
Yeah.
Do you know the Cooks River?
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
Yeah. Well, they used to live there, and generally speaking, Nana and Pops, they're on the same page, usually.
Usually, yeah.
But I do remember one time, Nana told me about it. She wouldn't tell me while Pops was around, but once Pops had gone,
Yeah, okay.
a couple of years after, we're just, I don't know, lamenting or chatting about their lives together and his life and that sort of thing. And I remember they got into a bit of a verbal. He wanted to go out on her electric mobility scooter, and he was like, I'm just ducking out, gonna get some beer, and I'll come back. I'll come straight back, easy out. And Nana's like, you don't know how to drive it. You don't know how to drive it. You'll crash. Don't. He's like, Nana, who was driving you around all the time for the past 50 years? I know how to drive. She's like, please don't. And he didn't listen. Sweet as down the driveway, no problems. I don't know what he did, but he locked it in gear or locked the accelerator on, crossed the golf course, into the river, stuck in the mud, soaking wet up to his waist. Can you believe it?
Well, Nana knew.
Told you so. That's what she said.
That's a big
told you so. That's what she said. Unbelievable.
I'm sure she did. You never
drove it again. Well, no one drove it again. It was shot. That was it. That was the end of that.
Oh, gee whiz, that's a funny story. I think you won't have a dry eye in the house of personal emotion, but obviously from this is hilarious. These hilarious stories too. So.
But she never It's interesting that you look at that story and it's like, well, why did she pick them to tell everyone about it? You know, you think it's something you tell people, but she knew it sort of embarrassed. Like Pops, so she kept it close to her chest and didn't say anything.
The type of person she is.
Even had to get, I don't know who they got down to pull the thing out of the river, and obviously she couldn't have got Grandpa off there completely by herself. They obviously had some help, but no one heard about it. No one knew about it till after he'd gone. Just that's a sort of respectful person. She cared for other people so much that she'd hold things like that. Hey, if it was me, I'd be telling everyone. You know,
it's hard to hold that in, isn't it, sometimes? But being obviously the love she had for your grandfather, and the respect, like you mentioned, is obviously outweighs her need to tell people that story until now. And you know, you probably think, you know, it brings fond memories back of your grandfather too. And you know, think about your grandmother. That's the type of person she was. You know, I think it's a great memory to have for both of the two.
Yeah, I think Grandpa was good at driving cars. I don't know about scooters.
No, really scooters. No. Oh, well, that's thanks for sharing that. Is there anything else?
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry to come back in after leaving. I was just thinking that it was. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it, and that's why you do forget stuff. And as I said, when you leave from now, you may forget other things. But those two stories are brilliant, and you know, really, definitely paints a picture for me, even more so than already previously. You know, all the information I already obtained from you. So thank you, Steve, once again. If there was nothing else, I said we'll be in touch, communicating through phone. Call me up anytime, email, and I said I appreciate it. I'll look you out.
No worries. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
I'll speak soon.